Is the Woodlands basically the Disneyland of all suburbs, or is it overhyped like the yearly Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes? Today, we're gonna be going deep. I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and man, this place really just sucks kind of moments. Let's get started. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Andrew here, your Houston relocation guide. We help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate to the Houston suburbs. So if you wanna reach out, all my information in the description box down below. Anyways, listen, this video is for those of you stalking Zillow listings in the Woodlands at midnight. I'm gonna give you the full breakdown, things that people absolutely rave about and things that people absolutely complain and rage about. Let's roll. And we're gonna kick things off on the brighter side of things, of course, and we're gonna start off with the pros. And pro number one is gonna be all about the master plan design. The Woodlands is not just another suburb, it's actually a very well thought out master plan design, and it was all thought out before throwing houses on top of dirt. Crazy idea, right? You've got 9 different villages, all with their own parks, all with their own schools, their shopping. It's like basically a bunch of like little mini towns inside of each community. You don't ever have to leave your own little bubble if you don't want to. Everything you need is like a stone throw away, really. Like it's all right here. Every village pretty much has its anchor grocery stores, you got your coffee shops, you got your dentist, and yes, that overpriced Pilates studio that your spouse swears up and down is life-changing. I mean, I'm sure there's a Pilates studio somewhere around here. Pro number 2, parks and trails galore. If you're outdoorsy or you just pretend to be outdoorsy, look, no judgment here. This place is heaven. Listen to this, there are over 150 parks. Yeah, you heard that right. 150 different parks. On top of that, over 220 miles of hiking and biking trails. You got enough to stay active for sure. You can pretty much bike from one end of the Woodlands to the other without ever hitting a main road. Kids love it, dogs love it, joggers love it. That Apple Watch steps counter, it's gonna love you too. Pro number 3. Entertainment and concerts. Now here's something people not familiar with the Houston area that kind of might take them by surprise if they haven't done some research on the Woodlands, and that is none other than Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. This is a legit concert venue right in your backyard. Big names play here. I mean, you name it. We got big rock bands, country stars, symphonies, it's all here. I mean, just how many suburbs can actually brag about Kenny Chesney and Alice Cooper playing just down the street from them? It's one of the top amphitheaters in the entire United States. And sometimes you're gonna feel like you're living right smack in the middle of a festival town. And here's a fun fact for you. You can actually go hang out at the Town Green Park, which is the park right behind the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion Center. It's a whole different vibe in itself and definitely worth checking out for sure. Pro number 4 is gonna be all about the school districts here in the Woodlands. Now for all my families out there, this one's actually a really big deal because Conroe ISD and Tomball ISD cover most of the Woodlands, and both of those districts are actually rated very well. The schools here consistently make those best of lists here in the Houston region. And parents move here just for that reason. It's not totally unusual to hear parents say that they stretch their budget just so they can get here into the Woodlands schools. And honestly, that long-term investment usually pays off. And for those of you who do not like public schools, you have an alternate route that you could take, which is private schools. Just know it's going to cost you a kidney or two, like $30,000 a year for your first grader. Better start donating those organs. Just kidding, just kidding. Don't do that. Number 5, safety is a pretty big deal around here. Another thing that really puts a lot of folks at ease here is gonna be the safety. Now the Woodlands does have a strong reputation for being one of the safest places in the Houston region. Low crime rates, lots of neighborhood watch groups, and a general vibe that really kind of says, relax, relax. Your kid's bike isn't going to get stolen out of the front yard tonight. It feels and is family friendly, which is why so many people want to move here to the Woodlands. Now, I'm not saying that this is some absolute perfect utopia. All I'm saying is, generally speaking, the Woodlands is absolutely much safer than some parts of Houston. And coming in at number 6, healthcare. Now this is one of those sneaky big perks that most people don't actually even think about, especially those younger crowds out there, or a lot of people overlook when they're actually home shopping. The Woodlands has an entire medical hub, which honestly is super convenient and definitely really nice and will help put you at ease. We have big names like Memorial Hermann, we have Texas Children's, and we even have St. Luke's here. Everything from basically pediatric care to specialized treatment, it's all right here in the Woodlands. You don't have to travel over an hour to get to the Texas Medical Center just to seek top-notch medical treatment. And to me, that's a huge win. And coming in at number 7 is gonna be all about the job centers that are gonna be here in the Woodlands. What's super nice and convenient about living in the Woodlands is you do not have to drive into the absolute chaos that is of Houston, Texas every day if you don't want to. ExxonMobil has their enormous campus nearby. Hughes Landing has tons of office space. The waterway is just jam-packed with businesses. A very good amount of people actually live and work here in the Woodlands, Texas, and you never have to leave if you do not want to. Number 8, it's gonna be all about the shopping and dining, baby. What's also really nice about the Woodlands is you don't have to take the treacherous drive into Houston to get all of what Houston has to offer when it comes to food and entertainment. We got it right here outside your front door. The Woodlands Mall, Market Street, Hughes Landing. I mean, this area is really a retail heaven. Whether it's high-end shopping or fine dining or just casual eats, it's all right here. You can eat out every night of the week and still not hit every restaurant. Dangerous for your wallet? Yeah, I get it, but delicious? Absolutely. And actually, while we're on the subject of food, I will say this: Houston is top tier and, in my opinion, the best food scene in the entire United States. And I'll fight you on that. All right, so before we get in the pros, I wanna say if you do plan on making a move to the Woodlands, Texas, or anywhere in the Houston area, give me a shout. You'll find all my information in the description box. You can book a call with myself or my wife, Samantha. We would be delighted, honored, and thrilled to help make your transition here to Houston a smooth one. Now that the annoying plug is out of the way, let's move on to the cons. And number 1 is really gonna be everybody's favorite: traffic. Okay, let's get real here for a second. Seriously, the Woodlands has traffic, and like Houston level traffic. Seriously, I-45, 242, Research Forest, all those main roads, it gets clogged up and gets really bad during rush hour times. So just make sure you plan accordingly, because you're gonna be finding yourself in traffic one day and you're gonna sit there, why did I leave the city for this? I could have just moved out to the country. It's just part of living here in the Woodlands, unfortunately. If patience is not your virtue, you're gonna learn it here. Con number 2 is gonna be all about property taxes. And this can actually be said for the majority of Houston, Texas, okay? Our property tax system down here is quite confusing and it sucks. It really does. Can't sugarcoat that. If you're coming from out of state and you're not familiar with it, I talk about taxes a lot on this channel. Now, the Woodlands itself is actually pretty decent. For the most part, you're gonna be around 1.7%. With I think Creekside is actually about 2.4%. So it just really depends on where you're gonna be. But for the most part, you should expect to be around 1.7% for your annual property tax rate. But I want you to keep an eye on the property taxes whenever you're home shopping, regardless if you're gonna be in the Woodlands or you're exploring other suburbs, because it will have a major impact on how big your monthly payments are going to be. Con number 3 is gonna be all about the deed restrictions here in the Woodlands. Look, let me tell you something. The Woodlands is gorgeous for a reason, and that reason comes with a lot of rules. You wanna paint your house neon green or pink? Not gonna happen. You wanna add a giant shed in your backyard or an ADU, which is an additional dwelling unit? You're more than likely gonna have to ask. Just as with any other suburb, the deed restrictions are going to keep the area feeling really nice, pristine, and clean. But if you want total freedom to do whatever the heck you want, whenever the heck you want, you might want to look somewhere else, more specifically outside of the city limits, probably in the countryside. Con number 4, event spillovers. Remember that pavilion that I was talking about earlier, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion? Well, it's also a double-edged sword. Good luck if you live nearby. Parking will fill up the streets, the traffic jams will happen all over the place, and noise will carry on over. So if you're buying a house anywhere near the pavilion, just understand that you're gonna have to deal with that. My advice, just avoid that entire area during a concert night if you don't plan on attending or being around that whole event. Con number 5 is gonna be all about the flooding and the storms. Ooh, a big one. Look, this is Texas. We get storms. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. However, the Woodlands actually performed far better than some areas of Houston during Hurricane Harvey back in 2017. But it still wasn't entirely immune. Certain pockets, albeit small little pockets of the Woodlands, can actually take on water during another Harvey, with the biggest threats being like the Spring Creek or Gosling areas. But for the most part, the vast majority of homes here did not flood. Maybe like 98% or something like that. Just a very, very small amount actually took on water during Hurricane Harvey. But don't just assume that your house will never, ever, ever in the history of your life or your kid's life that the property won't flood. It's always best to do your homework and figure out where the property that you are interested in buying or investing in is located in a flood zone or not. And the best way you can do that is go head on over to the FEMA Flood Map Center and type that property address in. And then you can also reach out to us, and then we'll be able to tell you based off of seller's disclosure and talking to our insurance agents if a house has ever flooded or not. Con number 6 is going to be all about the cost of entry here in the Woodlands. Look, here's a reality that I think all of us need to understand is the Woodlands is not cheap. It is not cheap at all. Home prices here are actually higher than a lot of other surrounding suburbs. You're really not just paying for a house, you're paying for the location and all of the amenities that are coming with it here in the Woodlands, like everything that we have talked about so far. But if you're looking for that starter price range types of housing in the Woodlands, you're probably gonna find yourself priced out. It's more of a we leveled up and we've upgraded type of suburb. Not to say you can't find homes that are an average price points, but for the most part, things are relatively a lot more expensive here than other suburbs of Houston. If you are shopping on an extremely tight budget, you might wanna look elsewhere. Con number 7. Nightlife limitations. Look, don't expect to party like you're in downtown Houston or midtown Houston. That's just not gonna happen here. If you are looking for nightclubs and all of that fun stuff, like you're not gonna find it. Of course, you can probably find your little cocktail lounges and things like that, but when it comes to just straight up nightlife and just partying, if that's your thing, no judgment, you're not gonna find it here. You're gonna have to go on over to Houston, make the drive down there, and go clubbing there. It ain't gonna happen in the Woodlands. And last but certainly not least is gonna be all about the mosquitoes, allergies, and the humidity. Look, honestly, you could say this about any part of Houston. The humidity here, no matter where you're at, really just sucks. The mosquitoes are terrible during the spring and summer times, especially after it rains. Just, you better have some off or whatever the mosquito spray is nowadays. And allergies here, like, we have a lot of pollen, okay? We have a lot of pollen here, and let's get it right? The Woodlands has a ton of trees. It's called the Woodlands, right? So the Woodlands has a ton of trees, so if you have a lot of allergies, you're probably gonna have to carry around some, what is it, Allegra or whatever those things are, like the allergy pills. You're gonna have to be carrying those around because you're gonna be sneezing a lot, especially during the springtime. Your eyes are gonna constantly be watering. You're gonna be running snot all over the place. It's just the way it is down here. So pro tip, stock up on bug spray and allergy meds. Also, get a monthly car wash subscription somewhere. Thank me later. So is the Woodlands paradise or is it overhyped? You tell me. Honestly, in my opinion, it is an absolutely amazing suburb to live in. It's just gonna come with a higher price tag, of course. This place consistently ranks as one of the top communities to live in the entire United States, which is absolutely amazing if you think about it. Families love it, professionals love it, retirees love it. But if you're also craving that urban grit and nonstop nightlife, this probably isn't the place for you. But hey, to each their own. The Woodlands is absolutely top notch and top tier. So if you're looking for the best of the best, you cannot go wrong with the Woodlands. Also, if you want to explore the entire Woodlands, you should go check out my vlog tour of the Woodlands, Texas, where we take you through the entire suburb, the entire community. We actually explore all 9 villages, which is really cool. And then I explain and go into far more detail about the Woodlands, Texas than this video. So make sure you check it out. I'll put it in the description box, or I'll put a link somewhere around here so you can go take a look. Also, if I don't end up doing that for some odd reason, you can find it in my playlist section. You can go to my playlist, scroll down until you find Living in the Woodlands, and you'll be able to see my full vlog tour. And that's probably the only video that you will ever need to watch about the Woodlands, because we go into serious depth on the Woodlands, Texas. Well, that'll be all, guys. I truly hope you found some value in this video. If you do plan on making a move to the Woodlands or the Houston region, make sure you give me a call. I'll put all my information in the description box down below, and we'd be honored, delighted, and thrilled to help make your transition here to this area a smooth and stress-free one. See you guys in the next video.